to Hazelwood Homestead. I'm Phyllis, and today I'm going to make, guess what? Sweet potato casserole. Now, what I did before you got here with me today, I baked 14 little bitty sweet potatoes. I bought me a 40-pound box at my local grocery store. It was like, you know, sweet potatoes come in 1s and 2s and 3s, the classification of them. These were probably some rejects that were too small. They thought they couldn't sell them, so they boxed them up. So I got me a 40-pound box for $15 because they were rejects. I've shared a lot of those potatoes with other people, my kids and other people, and so today I baked them on a cookie sheet. Just put me a cookie sheet down, stuck a knife in them to let the heat get able to get in there, and I baked them for about 1 hour and 10 minutes, and I would stick a knife in to see if they were done through and through, and they were. So I took them out, I let them cool. Here's one that I let them cool, and I started peeling them. Now, you can peel them when they're raw and put them in a pan and boil them if you want to do that. But I just like to bake them and then go on the hour that they bake. I can do 10 more things while they're baking. And then I can do 10 more things while they're cooling off. There's nothing hotter than a hot sweet potato. So what I'm doing now is, you can see I just got me a little paring knife and I'm pulling the peeling off. Now the peeling comes off, and once the peeling comes off, there's a little part of the sweet potato under the peeling. So you want to be sure and get that part off. So just take your knife and just cut through that and get that piece off until you get down to the good part of the sweet potato. Yes, I'm getting a manicure today, so don't make any comments about that. So just keep peeling them. And when we get them all peeled and get those extra skins off, it's almost like a sweet potato has a double skin. So you want to get all that off because you don't want to eat that. It doesn't have the best taste. All right. So then when we get our potatoes, here they are, all peeled. And what we're going to do after that is make us some space. And we're going to put a topping on these potatoes after we get them ready. I guess I'll go ahead and go through this, our meat of the dish. Get you a little masher, any kind of masher will do. These potatoes are soft. They're done, they've been cooked. You're just going to mash them up. I've got a 9 by 13 dish. If it's just you and your husband, you might want to make a smaller dish. So this is one of our main dishes at Thanksgiving. So when you have your Thanksgiving meal, I hope you will make this for some of your guests or your family that shows up, and you will have a good dish and they will enjoy this. Now the topping that we're going to put on, first time I ever had that topping was my mother's sister, and her name was Nettie Ann, and she was a fabulous cook. Her husband was a minister, and she would get all these wonderful recipes, you know, from people in the church when they had potlucks and things. Now, after I get them kind of mashed up, did I tell y'all this was 14 small sweet potatoes? Okay, I didn't know if I told you guys or not. Just mash them up pretty good. They didn't have to be great. I'm gonna take this fork and just mash them a little more. To this mixture, we will be adding some more things other than just the sweet potatoes. All right, I'm just gonna mash them just a little bit with a fork because I'm gonna add some stuff to it. Now, our recipe that I'm using today, we will be adding, at the end, I'll add some butter, which will make it even better. We're going to add a 1/2 cup, and I've got my 1/2 cup, and pack your light brown sugar. Make sure you pack it okay? Don't just pour it in there. You got to mash it down to get your half a cup. All of these directions will be in my description box below. Go ahead and get that in. Just a half a cup of light brown sugar or dark sugar, whichever you'd like to use. Also, we're going to add a 1/3 cup of flour. Wait a minute. We're going to back up. We've got our 14 sweet potatoes. We're going to add a half a cup of sugar. We're going to put 3 large eggs. We're also going to put a 1/4 cup of butter. Now, this 1/4 cup of butter that I'm going to put in, I usually just cut it up. And I just put it on top of my potatoes. I've softened my butter just a little bit. So I've got my sugar. You can put white sugar in here. I just love the brown sugar in this because this is the meat of the recipe. Now I'm just going to dab my butter. You can melt it and pour it over that. I just like to do it like this. I've got it good and soft. And I'm just going to kind of spread it out a little bit because I'm going to mix all this up. Now, our next thing that we're going to add after we get that is 3 large eggs to this. That's going to be our binder. So let me get some eggs out of my fridge. We're going to add these 3 eggs in here. One. And just work it in. Just mix it in. This is going to be delicious. You can already tell. If you're a sweet potato lover, you know this is going to be a good dish to put on your table at Thanksgiving. All right, 1 egg. I'm doing it over here in the corner so that if it's a bad egg, I can just rake it out instead of mixing it into all these good sweet potatoes that I've cooked. All right, mix it in, and 1 more egg. And okay, so we got our eggs. We're gonna mix all that together. You can see our butter's kind of breaking up as you work these eggs in. Now, if you don't want to bake sweet potatoes, you can buy a can. They have a large can at the grocery store of sweet potatoes. And I've bought them before when I've been in a hurry and when I used to work. And I'm going to be honest with you, they taste pretty good. And they're called yams. And they're in the grocery section and you can get them. If you want to take this dish somewhere, just buy you some yams and doctor it up like this. All right, now we've got all that in. Let me go over our list and make sure we've got everything. We're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. 1 teaspoon of vanilla flavoring. Okay. And you know I keep that handy because I use it a lot. So I've got it right there. Now the next thing we're going to add is a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So let me grab my salt shaker. But I could have just ground up, but I want this to be pretty accurate. So 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Because a long time ago, I learned if you want to make something taste sweeter, you wouldn't believe it, but you add salt to it. Try it sometime, you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, 1 teaspoon, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. We got our vanilla. Now we're going to put a 1/3 cup of milk. You can use any kind of milk. You can use evaporated milk. Evaporated milk is very good for cooking. You can use any kind of milk that you want. So let me grab a 1/3 cup of milk. Potatoes, sugar, eggs, butter, milk, vanilla, salt, and a 1/3 cup of milk. Here we go. Okay, 1/3 cup of milk. So we've got all of our ingredients in here. Gonna mix it up really well. If you've got any big lumps in your sweet potatoes, now's the time right now to kind of smooth them out and mash those lumps out because we're going to be putting our topping on. So now I'm going to smooth it down a little bit so I can get my topping on good and smooth when we get our topping made. All right, let's move over now to our topping. So we're going to start on our topping. Now our topping does call for butter. Again, I love butter. So we've got 1/4 cup of butter. Now, you can use salted because I'm telling you, salt makes something sweet sweeter. So I've got 1/4 cup of salted butter already melted. Now to that, I am going to add 1/2 cup of light brown sugar. 1/2 cup. And remember, guys, to pack the light brown sugar. Always pack it when you put it in your cup. Do it like that, but push it down. Let me show you. Push it down and pack it. Okay? Pack it. This is going to make a crusty kind of topping because we're going to add pecans to this top. So you see I've got 1/2 cup, need a little more, and you got to pack it down. Make sure you pack it. Take the back of the spoon and pack it, or you can use your hand. To that, we're going to add it right on in the butter. And you know this is going to be good. Right on in there. Okay. Now, to this mixture, let's go ahead and start stirring it up a little bit. Let this kind of get blended. My butter and my sugar. It's going to be so good. The butter and the sugar. You know, I don't make this but maybe twice a year, so I have to get my recipe out and look at it. Just kind of mix that together. Now to this mixture, we will add 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour, not self-rising, because we don't want this to rise. So we're going to add some flour in here. 1/3 cup of flour. So let's mix that up. And it'll be kind of crumbly. A lot of people take this and just work it with their fingers, and I might eventually. Now we're going to add some cinnamon. It says to add, my recipe says on the cinnamon to add 1 teaspoon. That's not enough for me. I'm going to add a little more than that because that's a lot of potatoes. So I'm probably going to add 2 teaspoons of cinnamon because our whole family loves cinnamon. Probably 2 teaspoons of the cinnamon. So now we're making our topping. It's going to be a crumbly little topping. Oh, it's going to be so good when all this butter melts and these potatoes. All right, we got our butter with cinnamon, our flour, and our brown sugar. And I'm going to add a little more sugar. A little more flour to this. I like to just start out slow and see what it looks like. To this, our recipe calls for 1/2 cup of chopped or broken up pecans. So I'll add about a little more. I'll start out. I'm probably going to add 3/4 cup because I love some pecans. I just love it. All right, so we just start covering these pecans in this. Good mixture. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do, since I want a little thicker, a little more of a crust than what my recipe that I use calls for. I remember last year when I made this, I added a little more ingredient to this. So what I'll do is I'll get me about another tablespoon of the brown sugar to get these coated. another tablespoon to get these good and coated for the topping. Gonna be good. All right, guys, I'm gonna bring this over here and just kind of show you what this looks like. That's the topping that's gonna go on the potatoes. It's very crumbly. So that was a whole third of a cup that I added. Because remember, you've got your your butter in here, and it's going to soak up that good flour. And this is all-purpose flour, not self-rising. Because you don't want it to blow up. This is all-purpose. All right. So now we'll take this, and I've washed my hands before I even started this morning. Before I even started peeling my potatoes, I got my hands good and clean. Everything's good and coated. So now, I'll take this mixture, and I'm going to pour it over here. I'm going to turn my oven on to 350 degrees so that it'll be ready to go in when I sprinkle this across. Let me bring y'all up closer so you can see when I sprinkle this on the top. I'll just be sprinkling this right on the top of this casserole dish. Here we go. The first time I had this was, like I said, at my Aunt Ann's house, and I thought that was the best thing I'd ever tasted in my life. I'd always loved sweet potatoes, but I'll tell you what, there goes my husband's phone. I tell you, he needs his own little office. He has so many calls throughout the day. And he can't hear well, so he's got that funny little phone ring. But he loves it. Now you see what I'm doing. I'm just making sure that I get the top good and covered. Now a few of my friends knew that I was making this today, so they said they were going to stop by here after work. And I said, well, that'll be just fine. I think it'll be done. And you can come and you can just have all you want of this. Because I tell people, you know, my husband and I, we like to eat, but we can't eat everything. Now, if you think you're running short, you know, recipes are like that sometimes. You can just take it and move it about and just sprinkle it around and spread it out till you get a good, you know, just spread it all around. Or I see a little place that I want to put some more pecans right there in the center. I don't think there's enough there. Just add you some more pecans. Now, if you want butter on top, you can put more butter on top. I'm not going to put the butter on top. This is going to do really good. 350 degrees for 30 minutes. Now, the only thing you're trying to cook in this recipe are your eggs. Your potatoes are done. You just need to get your eggs done. Only takes about 30 minutes for this to get solid. And I'm telling you, this is going to be something that your family's going to want every year at Thanksgiving and Christmas. Now, we eat it at all of our holidays. My daughter Holly really likes this recipe, and she does it, and she puts marshmallows on top. You can do that if you would like. You can add marshmallows about the last 5 to 10 minutes of cooking it, depending on your oven. Now, I'll bring you guys back in 30 minutes and let you see what this looks like. And I'm going to taste it because I love this recipe. Now, I'm a sweet potato lover. I love sweet potatoes. Okay, it's been 30 minutes and I'm fixing to take out the sweet potato casserole, and we're going to taste it and see if it's any good. Ooh, It is hot. Okay, here I come. Look at my glasses. They're all fogged up. Wow. All right. What do you think? I'm going to bring you in and let you look at it. Hot out of that oven. Let me turn that oven off. And bring you up a little closer, where you can look at this casserole. Sweet potato casserole. Pecans are done. Everything is baked. I wish you could smell it. It smells absolutely delicious. Now what we're going to do now is we're just going to take a bite of it. Let's see if I can get a piece to cool off a little bit. Let's take a bite of it and see how it tastes. I'm going to take just a little piece. Let me show you. Doesn't that look delicious? Look at that. The sweet potato. The pecans. Wow. Whew. I bet you those pecans are so hot. 350 degrees for 30 minutes. Mercy goodness. Smells delicious. I cannot tell you. I cannot tell you how good that is. If you love sweet potatoes, you got to make this dish for your Thanksgiving, for your Christmas. I'll tell you what, I think my mother's sister, Nettie Ann, I think she'd be proud of me for being able to carry this recipe on down through the generations. And she would be amazed, probably, that I even got it made. It's so good. You guys do this recipe. Try it out on your family. See if they enjoy it as much as our family enjoys it. And I want to tell you, I really appreciate everybody that has subscribed to my channel since I started in June. I've had such a good time with the channel and making the videos. And I enjoy cooking so much. I want to share that with you. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I wish you would. It helps my channel grow. And I want my channel to grow. It's like a seed that I've planted, and I just like to watch it grow. So please subscribe and let me see more subscribers. Let me know who you are and what you're doing. And please like. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Now, if you've got any questions about something that we did on the video, just be sure and look in the description box. Everything will be down there, the amounts and everything. Y'all come back. We're getting ready for Thanksgiving. I'm going to be doing Thanksgiving and Christmas recipes in the future. So make this sweet potato casserole in a 9x13 pan. It is delicious. And I can't wait to fill up my coffee cup and sit down and finish this off. Love y'all. Bye-bye. Hey, Lulu. Hey, baby. It's Grammy. I need to catch a ride. Can you give me a ride? Lulu. Hey, I need a ride. Can you give me a ride, darling?